now we are going to be talking about scams, and specifically text scams. Nearly 3/4 of adults have been targeted by them. You can start with just a simple message that looks very legitimate from a company that you might even recognize. And that can lead you to losing your life savings. Anthea, you've had experience of this.
I did, and I feel a bit of an idiot now. But
you should not feel like an idiot for any of this, because anybody can fall for this stuff.
No, well, obviously, and I just think I'm fairly sussed when it comes to things like this. This was what they call a ghost page, and it was UPS. I was expecting a delivery, and UPS said that I had not been in, and to deliver again, they needed, it was a small amount, £3.50, something like that. Very quickly, I thought, right, I was in a rush. I put my credit card details in, and I'd even gone onto a few of the click-throughs, and it clicked through to UPS. As I hit send, I just thought, hold on a second. I hadn't checked the email address itself. When I did, it was most definitely not the email address you would expect from UPS.
Yeah.
I rang my credit card company straight away and I stopped the credit card. But it was a ghost page. And these are frightening because, for all intents and purposes, that was UPS.
Yeah. So I did a program on Channel 5 about that very type, what you would describe as a ghost page. So it's a sort of a carbon copy of the actual legitimate website. And I was working with a very clever, friendly hacker, and he showed me how to set up one of those pages. And the scary thing is it's with tools that are freely available if you know where to find them and how to use them. But he was able to copy a well-known parcel service website, and it took him 3 seconds. He literally copied and pasted their URL, their web address, and it just created a carbon copy with a different web address. But you can easily do that scam that you've just described, and people can enter their details. And the moment I was entering my details on that website, they were all flashing up on his screen. So it's a really clever way, because, of course, we see a sign, we see a badge, we see a symbol. We're like, oh, I recognize this. This is safe and secure. And so many people, you must have had text messages like that as well.
Yeah, I had a text message a few months ago from my son saying, Dad, lost my wallet, lost my phone. Can you send me 20 quid for a cab? If yes, I'll send you the bank details of my mate. And I was like, that's weird. My son's 3 years old. This is a little bit suspect. So I didn't reply to it. I just blocked it. But I think they call it the mom and dad scam.
Mom and dad scam, which we've covered on this show again. But so many, and you've got to remember that these text messages, there's these little machines called a SIM bank. They're about as big as a shoebox. And they contain several SIM cards inside, little machines. But essentially, just to give you an idea, you can send about a couple of million of those text messages in a 24-hour period. So they just keep sending them to people. If someone picks up or replies, then it's a payday. But look, we're going to hear from someone who wasn't as lucky as Anthea. And we're going to be joined now by Emmeline Hartley from Birmingham. Emmeline, thank you so much for giving us your time. I really appreciate it. I think it's really important to try and talk about these scams just so people understand what they look like. So, Emmeline, tell us your story. What happened to you?
So it's a while ago now. I got a text from Royal Mail, and it was the day before my birthday, and I knew that some packages were coming. And previously, I had it said that I needed to pay extra for the delivery, and previously I had actually done that for packages before on my birthday. So I also had 1% battery left at the time, and so I very, very quickly opened the website. It was a carbon copy, as you say. I clicked around on all the links, and I then checked the URL at the top, and it was the actual legitimate Royal Mail website. But I think I checked that after I'd clicked through to some of the links. I'd gone back, I was putting in my bank details, and then it asked me for my account code and my account number and sort code. And I was like, that's not right. Oh no, my phone's going to die. I was like, well, all they can do with that is give me money. So, that's on all my invoices. I just sort of like put it in and then left it and didn't think about it. Nothing went from my account, I don't think, but my phone died and that was it. I didn't think of it again. But it wasn't till the next day when I got a call from my bank, and they said, look, some transactions have been attempted from your card. This is not in your area, so we think it's strange activity. Can you confirm these transactions? I was like, no, that wasn't me. And they were like, right, okay. we're going to cancel your card. We just need to take you through security. And they did that. They said my card was cancelled and I was going to get a new one through the post. And then they were going to hang up. And then I sort of then went on to profusely thank him. I was just like, I'm so sorry. I'm so stupid. I knew it was dodgy because they asked for my sort code. And I was like, I'm an idiot. I don't know. I was rushing. I was caught off guard. And he was like, don't worry. It happens all the time. But look, if you really are like in that position where like something like this would have been devastating to you, because I just expressed to him how vulnerable I was. He was like, I might be able to put you on a scheme that could help. Let me just speak to my manager. And before I could say anything, I was on hold. And my friend was at the door waiting for me at this point, and I couldn't invite him in because it was COVID times, and we were just going to go for a walk. So I was in a rush now as well. And then when he came back, he was like, yeah, my manager said we can put you on this scheme to protect your money a little bit from this sort of thing happening in future. And he started going through all the small print. I was like, look, I do not understand what you're saying. None of this makes sense. Please say it again. Please say it again. And then I was just like, oh, I still don't get it. Just right, move on. How does it work? What's next? And he started taking me through all these steps on the app. And then I realized, hang on a minute, is he getting me to transfer money? And by this point, I was really scared and shaken up and upset about the fact that I had just fallen for something the day before, the phishing thing. That I was just, I don't know, I'd already been worked into this hot state. I was in a rush. My adrenaline had just taken over. And I said to him, how do I know you're not scamming me? Like, this doesn't seem right. And he just had answers for everything. And then he gave me, I then said to him, well, I'm going to take you through security. You tell me, what are my middle names? What's X, Y, Z? And he was answering everything. And then he even said to me, like, look at the number I'm calling you from and type it into Google. It's your bank's number. And I did, and it was the fraud team.
Yeah.
So from my bank, from Barclays.
And Emmeline, how much money did you end up sending?
It was about £1,000, which is all I had at the time, and didn't have anything else coming in because my work had stopped and I was a student. So it was everything I had.
When you reported the scam, were you able to get reimbursed by your bank?
Not initially. These things take a couple of months, but it blew up and went viral, and because of the press attention, my bank, it was escalated quite quickly, I think, because everyone was asking for them to comment. So I was quite fortunate that they did then refund it within a few days.
Yeah. Emmeline, thank you so much for sharing your story. I really do appreciate it. I think it's so important for people to come forward and share those stories so people can hear the process of what's going on. Emmeline, thank you so much. I really, really appreciate they can be so convincing, these people. I think that you must also remember when they tell you, look at the number I'm calling you from. So you look at your mobile phone, they say, look at the number, and then look at the number on the back of your card, and it matches. Yeah. Now, that actually should be a sure giveaway that it's a scam, because if you look at your bank card and you look at the number on the back, that number is an incoming calls only number. So banks cannot use that number to call you. But of course, very few people know that, and they get convinced because they see that they match. They say, oh, this must be my bank. So very clever people. Let's find out what you are saying at home. Sharon's got in touch from London. Sharon, good afternoon. What's your story, Sharon?
Hi, good afternoon, Alexis and panel. Basically, my partner got a text message through on his phone from EE. Yeah. And it was saying he'd collected so many points for topping up that month. He's now eligible for a prize. Pick a prize, which is earbuds, an air fryer, I think, and something else. But they had to check you had something in your account, like on your cards. I used my card, stupidly enough. Luckily for me, it was only a penny. But when I put it through, it wasn't until I put it through I realised it's a phone number. Why is it a phone number for a mobile and a text? It was an actual mobile. When I got him to look through his messages and look at an actual EE one, you could see that EE come with the logo. Yep. They came with the whole description, and I just got a phone number. The next day I was contacted by as what I'm just hearing, now I'm very suspicious myself because they said it was a bank and that I can check it on Google, all the same sort of talk. It's going to be the same sort of bank. And he was asking me questions like my transactions in Scotland, which I'm not actually in Scotland. So I don't know what to do now. Maybe I think I'll just cancel the card totally.
Well, have you not done anything?
Well, that's what I mean. I've spoken to the bank, and well, supposedly I thought I'd spoken to them, so maybe I should phone up and speak to them.
No, Sharon, you need to, when you finish this call, you need to pick up your mobile phone and dial 159. Okay, very simple. 159. It's going to put you through a multiple choice. It's going to ask you who you bank with. Choose who you bank with and speak to your fraud team and tell them exactly what you've just told me, because that's a scam. The people who called you pretending you're a bank, they're not your bank. They're trying to get you to do what Anthea almost did, what Emmeline did. They are going to say, did you make that little transaction from a text message that you received? That was fraud. What you need to do is move all your money to a safe account. So you need to cancel your bank card immediately. But first thing you're going to do, once we get off this call, 159, follow the instructions.
Cool.
And Sharon, be careful with that. You need to take action. Okay.
I'm going to. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thank you for calling. I hope that's helpful. Let's speak to Robert as well. Robert, good afternoon. What's your story, Robert?
Hello, Alex. It's regarding along the same story as Anthea.
Yeah.
When it first happened, this is only a couple of weeks ago, and I done the same thing, expecting a parcel from Royal Mail.
Yeah.
And I was told they tried to deliver, la-di-da-di-da, and then they put me in to make a payment of £30 for redelivery. I'd done that, and as soon as I sent it, I realized I made the scam. So I immediately drained the money from my bank account and left just a number of pounds in it. And I phoned the bank then to cancel. The lady cancelled the card. Yeah. She said, well, you'll have a new one within 3 to 5 days. Now, my card I put by is no good. It's been cancelled and pointless me holding it in my wallet. So 5 days later, I rang the bank and they knew nothing about it.
Okay.
And then it had to be reordered, which I got within 2 days. I said, can you put it on priority, please? They apologized. They knew it was their error. But my point I'm trying to make is that even though you phone the bank, it's well worth phoning back the bank a day later or even 10 hours later to confirm what had happened in the first place.
Absolutely.
If that
Robert,
makes sense.
Robert, that's a very, very good point, and I think you're very correct in saying it. You do need to follow up with these things. Another really good point there, Robert, is sometimes these messages or emails or sometimes even phone calls will give you a number pretending to be, well, this is the fraud number, call this number. Mm-hmm. Never, ever use a number that's been given to you via text message or an email. Always source the original number from the internet or from the back of your card and call that number rather than a number that's been given to you via text message or an email. But Robert, thank you. I'm glad that you're safe. Now, let's have a look at one of these text messages, because I think a lot of people will recognize these. But let's have a look at one of these text messages, a type that you would get. So this is there's a well-known package distributor delivery service called Every. Now, it's funny because this exact message has been received by quite a few people in our office here at Alexis Conran and Friends. And look, it's the same tale. There's a package, process of transportation. We don't have enough information to deliver it. Here is the link, which that's the Every Lil Club /I. And it encourages you to click on there, and then you'd put all your details. But look at the warning signs, though. Look at the very top. Look at the email that it's come from. I mean, that is not a web address that you should be trusting. Maverick, whatever, some letters, 4@hotmail.com. And also the web address it takes to you has got spelling mistakes in it. It's Every, Lili. So they're trying to make it look like, and when you get there, it kind of looks like the Every website, but not quite. But these are the kind of messages that people are going to be getting. Another one, which I think a lot of people have got, is from Royal Mail. Maybe, Anthea, you'd recognise roughly what that is. Yeah. So Royal Mail, your package is £2.99 shipping fee to pay this. Now visit, and this is the web address, Royal Mail redelivery.support. I mean, you could be forgiven for thinking that that might be a genuine website. What I think gives this text message away, though, from my point of view, having scanned through hundreds of these, actions will be taken if you do not pay this fee. That is a big giveaway. So anytime you get a text message or an email or a phone call that tells you you need to take action, I would always say take a step back, because that is a call for action that you really don't want to take there.
How difficult is it to catch these people? I remember Emily Thornberry saying that when Labour come into power, they're going to be negotiating with countries, and when they're doing trade deals, they're going to say, but you've got to shut down all these scam factories that you've got, places like Brazil and Vietnam and Thailand, where they've got, and Nigeria, they've got warehouses full of people sat there doing scams. But how easy is it to catch these people and stop this from happening?
It's very difficult.
Yeah.
It's very difficult because law enforcement doesn't translate well across borders. It's harder. Tracing where these text messages are coming from is not as simple, particularly if they're coming from abroad. So it's very, very difficult. And I know we were discussing with Jeremy Vine earlier, it is frustrating that we're not sitting here reporting on stories of gangs being locked up for scamming people out of their hard-earned cash. But the first step we need to take is to actually make sure that we stop falling for these. Like, I would like to come to a place where people look at these on their phone and delete them straight away, because they just know that this is a scam.
But that number you said, 159?
159.
Anthea and I are saying, I've never heard that before in my life.
159. So from any mobile phone, if you've got a remote suspicion that something is not quite right with your banking or your card, or you've done something that you think, should I have done that? Immediately from any mobile phone on any network, 159, get multiple choice of banks. And the moment you go through this, put you straight through to your fraud department of your bank, because the quicker you report these things, the higher the possibility that A, you will stop the scam in its tracks, and B, you'll get your money back.
Why are they not promoting this number?
Yeah.
Well, that's what I'm here for. Now, look, if you get a text and you are worried, there are some simple ways to stay safe. So when receiving emails and messages from any company, it's crucial to avoid on clicking on any links provided. Now, this approach is to visit the official website directly, for example, minimizing the risk of downloading any malware or falling prey to counterfeit websites. Look, if it was up to me, the advice that I would give everybody is never, ever click on links in text messages or in email. No matter if you're convinced that they're genuine, always navigate to the website yourself by typing in the web address from Google or from your browser. Never click on links that are in text messages. Also, look, you should ensure that your phone is equipped with the latest updates. They are, I know, irritating. Every time they come out, you need to update your phone, but they really do take care of some very basic scams. In today's environments where basic scammers are becoming increasingly sophisticated, those updates will help you enhance your security features, providing you with the best possible protection against potential threats. Look, scammers frequently target individuals when they are alone, they're rushed, they're distracted. We heard from Anthea, we heard from our callers before. You're rushing out the door, your phone's running out of juice. That's what they rely on. So if you have even the slightest of doubt, it's wise to double check with a friend or colleague. Just talk to someone about it. Because when you say the story out loud, the penny usually drops that this is quite unreasonable. It might help you snap out of any vulnerable mindset that you potentially have and prevent you from falling a victim. And reminder, of course, that you can also protect others by reporting those scams. So if you get a text message that is suspicious, forward it, just hit the forward button on your phone and forward it to 7726. That's an easy number to remember because it's spelled spam on your numeric keyboard. So it's 7726. As you've heard, you can also dial 159 to speak straight to your bank's fraud department. So trying to report it as quickly as possible. I hope that all this has been useful. We'll continue to talk about scams whenever we can. But look, after the